Welcome to the Michael Singer podcast, presented by Sounds True, in partnership with Shakti Publications. For more information about Michael Singer's work, access to all prior episodes, and information about upcoming releases, we invite you to join us at michaelsingerpodcast.com.
Jagrata, Jaya Masters. People paint the spiritual path with so many different brushes, colors, strokes. One of them is faith. I'm not going to talk against faith. I wouldn't dare do such a thing. But I find that the path is very logical. It's very reasonable. It's because we ignore the logic and the reason. We ignore what we know about life. Because the path is life. And yes, you can have faith. It's good to have faith. But sometimes faith will betray you. Something happens that you thought wasn't supposed to happen, and you don't believe in God so much, or why would this terrible thing happen? How could God let this, anything about that? So faith is something, and I'm not talking against faith, but faith is something you believe in. Well, what is a belief? It's a thought. A belief is a thought. Do you understand that? Have you ever changed your beliefs about anything? I think I love you. I'm not so sure. Right? I think I like that color. Well, I don't know. This one's a little more. You change your beliefs all the time. And that includes the deep beliefs. So if you're not hanging on faith, I like you to have faith. It's nice. But I don't want you to hang on faith. I want you to know things. You can know things. Then you can have faith past there. Okay? But at least have the foundation that's solid. So let's take an example. Have any of you ever noticed that if your thoughts are positive, you feel better? Have you noticed that if your mind says, I like that, that feels good. It's fun. I like it. And your mind says, I think I'll like that. I don't think I'll like that. Well, when you say, I think I'll like that, you probably feel pretty good. You probably feel some positive energy. You probably feel some Shakti. You hear me? You're open. If you say, I think I'll like that, are you open to it? Okay? If you say, I don't think I'll like that, how you feeling? You want to do it? Come on, you want to go do it? There is so much truth in that, but we don't pay attention. What does that mean? If my mind says positive things about it, I feel better. If my mind says negative things about it, I feel worse. Well, why don't you just say positive things? You can say anything you want at any time. Do you understand that? No, it's a lie. If I say I like it and I don't, well, who decided you don't? Your mind. Or let's be more specific. Be very logical with you. I like logic. You've had past experiences, haven't you? And those past experiences told you whether you like it or not. Do you know how fickle your past experiences are? You meet somebody, you bump into them, they happen to be in a bad mood. They're not smiling, they're kind of negative. You know them now, right? You know you don't like that person very much. Are you kidding me? They had a tack in their toe or something, right? 5 minutes later, they're the nicest person ever was. Now, do you like them or not? And I'm teaching you something that I know you don't want to hear. Your past experiences, personal past experiences, opinions, concepts, views, are zero. That's how much faith you should put in those. Why? Because they could change on a dime. Have you ever liked somebody then not liked them? How fickle are this like and dislike stuff? Can they change pretty quickly? And you're going to find out that the past experiences you had that leave these impressions on you are worth nothing. They could change in a minute. It's just stuff that you had experiences. Yes, I'm not denying you had the experience, but that's 1 out of 1 trillion experiences you could have had. That's the part I teach you, and I say I'm doing it every talk that I give now. And I know you don't get it. Not the level I want you to get it. Do you have experiences? We're talking logic. Do you have experiences? How many have you had? Okay, how about every moment of your life you're having an experience? Every moment of your life, you're having an experience. And you put a lot of meaning on those experiences. I want to know that when you're having that one experience, how many are you missing? How many other experiences are going on everywhere else that you're not having? How about 700 billion trillion? And you want to put 100% value on the one experience you happen to be having and put no value on the 100 trillion that you're not having. Why are they less valuable than the one you had? I'm saying the truth. You're missing everything, but you're putting total weight on the most statistically insignificant moment that you had, which is what? The one you just had. What if you were looking to the left? You'd have a different experience. What if the person you were talking to had a different experience before they talked to you? Different experience. So it's a random event takes... Oh my God, I said that word. It's basically a random event that you bumped into somebody, you didn't bump into somebody, they weren't in a good mood, they weren't in a bad mood, they ate pizza last night, they got sick, that you're hungry, so you're not feeling good. Your feelings, your emotions, your thoughts, your concepts are just the sum of what happened before, which is nothing. I'm telling you, your experiences are nothing, but you give 100% weight to them for the rest of your life. I can't believe what my mother said to me. I'm never going to talk to her ever again. You do that. There are people that never talk to their mother ever again, or their sister. Because of what? Somebody said something. They were in a bad mood. By the way, they didn't even say that. You thought they said that. Have you ever done that? Ever sat there and said, what did he say? What do you mean by that? I wonder. He probably meant that. I can't believe he said that. Are you willing to take truth? This is called truth. Your experiences, even the ones you have, are just random, nothing. Every other experience in the world you could have had would have changed you completely. You'd think differently, have a different religion, different beliefs, different politics. Can an event happen to you that changes your mind about things? Then it's meaningless. Okay, so if it's meaningless, what do I do? What you want to say is, but it's all I have. I didn't have the experiences I didn't have. I understand you're pointing out to me that they could have been, not could have been, they were just as important. Every experience is the same. It's an experience. Einstein talks about a time-space continuum, those you into science. What does that mean? Throughout time and space, there are dots, very small ones. And there are trillions and zillions of them through time and space. And you happen to be looking at one of them. It's just a moment unfolding in a time-space continuum. I told you, if you were looking to the left, you wouldn't have had the experience. If you were thinking about a thought and you were distracted, you wouldn't have heard what he said. How random is this junk? It's so tenuous, it's ridiculous. Anybody willing to look at it? There's the part I say, I lately do with every talk. I know you don't get it. Why? Because you're not willing to let go of what you did with that one experience. Let's talk about what you did with that one experience. Any one, I don't care which one it is. All the ones you had. So you're going through life, there's 700 trillion experiences going on, you're having one at a time, and you're linking them together. And you're saying you know something. Tell me, how much do you know? Nothing. Psychology says man is the sum of his learned experiences. Probably goes for women also. You're the sum of your learned experiences. Your mind, your thoughts, they are the sum of your learned experiences, aren't they? What else are they going to be? You're programmed. You're programmed by the experiences you had. That's why you think the way you do, or you feel the way you do, or you like what you like. Every single thing. You're being programmed along the way. But remember, I keep bringing you back. How thin were those experiences? 1 out of a billion. Congratulations. If you sneezed while something was happening, you missed it. It could have changed your life. So you sit there and you look at that, and then the question comes up. Okay, but what do I do? It's the experience I had. Is it more important than another experience? No. Is it? And so basically you're walking along, you're having these experiences. I'm not saying you're not having the experiences. I'm saying they're no different than the experiences you're not having. How about I said it like that. In reality, in the reality of truth, of science, of everything, the experience you just had is no more important or less important than all the other experiences that you could have had. It just happened to be the one you had. And what do you do with that? You make it God. You literally do. You literally sit there and say, I know what I'm talking about. I didn't make this up. When I was in 5th grade, you see what happened to me. Well, now I'm going to talk about what you do with that experience. That nothing experience, that random experience that you just happen to have. And here's what you do with that experience. You have it. It's an experience. Comes in, you experience it. That's what happens inside. Your consciousness experiences the experience. Congratulations. You had an experience, right? But you don't just have had an experience. Certain of those experiences, not all of them, but certain of those experiences you hold on to, more important than the rest. Like I told you once, you don't hold on to the white lines in the road. You drive by them all the time. Sometimes they're dashed, sometimes they're solid, sometimes they're double, sometimes they're yellow. Not one of you hold on to those experiences as something worth holding on to. Well, if you don't hold on to it, what does it do? You experience it and it passes. You know what that's called? Be here now. In other words, reality has come in through your senses. Good. That's why you have senses. So you can see there's a world out there. Otherwise, you wouldn't even know it was there. Okay? It comes in through your senses, and it's supposed to hit your consciousness, melt and merge into, like the rivers flow into the ocean. It feeds you. Experiences are amazing. At least you had one. You can say, at least I had that experience. It taught me something. Didn't teach me everything. It taught me something, okay? And it comes in, and you experience it. Do you know sometimes you have experiences that are so nice that you say, oh my God, it touched me to the depth of my being. Why did it touch you to the depth of your being? Because you let it. There's nothing different. What if you're not into flowers? You're not into roses. You're not into the perfect rose contest, all right? Bringing the best rose. You're not into that, right? So you walk by the rose, but not you. You don't walk by the rose. You go, oh my God, look at that rose, okay? So there are certain experiences that when they hit you inside, isn't it amazing? Do you know what you do with them? Nothing. They come in and they pour into your consciousness. How about if I told you that every single experience you have in life is supposed to touch you to the depth of your being? Do they? There's not a handful of experience that you had in your entire life that you would sit there and say, oh my God, I melted. I felt I was in the presence of God. You understand? You were, because you're in the presence of your own being. But you don't do that. What you do is you judge them, you hold on to them, you don't like them, you like them. You don't let them pass through. You could have an experience yesterday. You did. You had an experience yesterday, and it hit you in such a way that you missed the next 15 minutes of your life. Either because you didn't like the experience, and you kept thinking about it, and it hurt, and you got distracted. Am I telling the truth or not? Am I making this up? See how deeper this is in faith? We're talking about you. We're talking about who's willing to look at reality. So either it came in and you either didn't like it and you kept complaining about it, then what happened to the rest of the experiences? You missed them. Or you liked it so much. Oh, it's so beautiful. You're missing all the rest. Come back. Hello. Earth to Sally. Okay? Take a breath. This is so important. So what's happening is the experiences come in. I'm going to tell you, and I know you don't like it, they're all the same. They're experiences. Well, if I go out to San Francisco, right, and look out over the bay, is every wave the same? No, not ever the same. But they're waves. So I see them as the same. They're the same, all right? Are they literally the same? Of course not. But I'm not bothering to differentiate them. I'm not bothering to say, oh, I like that wave. I don't like that one. Oh my God, more spray came up. Oh, I wish I was surfing on that one. I can't believe I missed that one. I'm not doing that. I'm just enjoying the waves. You can have a nice experience that way, can't you? Okay? So basically, we don't do that. What happens is the experience comes in, and they're not all the same to you. We can discuss why, but right now, you know they're not all the same to you. And some of them somehow have an effect on you to where you don't let them go. How about that is the entire science of psychology in a little bubble right there. That's Freud, that's Jung, that's everybody. If you didn't do that, if you were able to just, wow, it's raining, wow, and it all hits you like that, that's it for therapists, that's it for everything. You need therapists because you can't do that. So what happens, it comes in and you don't let it go. You store it. Freud had a name for storing it, didn't he? Suppression, repression, denial. What do those things mean? Suppression, repression, denial. I didn't let it go. I made a big deal out of that experience, didn't I? I held on to it. That's what suppression, repression, and denial means. I held on to it in my mind and in my heart so that it continued to affect me for the rest of my life. Okay? You can't let the experiences come in and pass through. Therefore, they get stuck inside. Now you've collected a meaningless experience. I'm sorry. Ooh, don't say it's meaningless. It's just like any other experience. Look to the left, you don't have it. I always tell that example. You're a 10, 12-year-old kid sitting in the back of a station wagon, driving on a vacation with your parents in the back seat. You're playing I Spy. I spy a cat. I spy this. I spy a tree, an oak tree, whatever it is, right? And all of a sudden, your bigger sister says, I spy a line in the road that's dashed. And your brother looks over there, and at that moment, a terrible accident takes place. Right smack there where he looked. I mean, blood and things, and you don't talk about it, okay? He gets traumatized. He will never speak again for the rest of his life. Can it happen? Pretty random, isn't it? You're the highest species on the planet Earth, and you tolerate that? Some random event that you happen to look in that direction for a moment, and it affected the entire rest of your life? Does that seem reasonable? I'm not saying what to do about it yet. That's a whole nother discussion. That's called the spiritual path. What to do. Once you understand the truth and you see it is the truth, there's no way that that child's life should be ruined because he looked at that moment in some direction. Should it? It's not reasonable. Now, like I said, the spiritual path is, once I finish laying the groundwork, we'll talk about what to do about it. Because there is something to do about it, believe it or not. And it's called the spiritual path. So the net result is you have these random experiences take place, but you don't let them go. You hold on to them. Some of them you hold on to. That's it. They'll hold on to. They make an impression on your mind, and then it keeps. If it makes an impression on your mind, does it come back up and talk about it again? Yeah. 10 years later, 50 years later, yeah. Will you please look at me and say that's not reasonable? Why? What happened to you in kindergarten when somebody bullied you 47 years ago? Should it be affecting your behavior today? It has nothing to do with today. It's nothing to do with anybody, does it? It has to do with the fact that you couldn't handle it. You couldn't handle the experience you were having. So it's not a question of what experience you're having. You're having an experience. The question is, can you handle the fact that I'm going to cry. I'm so glad we're talking at this level. Can you handle the fact that you had an experience? In unison, no. If you can handle it, you handle it. I'm not saying you don't do anything about it. You handle it, then you deal with it. But no, if you can't handle it, you can't deal with it. Do you understand that? People sometimes say, I can't handle what he said. I can't handle it. Do you know that you are now the worst person to deal with that situation? You admit it. I can't handle it. I can't handle what I saw. Well, you will be the worst person to handle it. Do you know that? I'm in business. Oh my God, there's a competitor. He seems like he might get better than us. I can't handle that. I don't want to think about it. Oh my God, what if he does? Like, get out of the room. Out of the room. I don't want you at the meeting. Because you can't handle the thought. You can't even handle the thought. How could you make a good decision? You see how logical we're being? Spirituality is totally logical. It's totally reasonable. But we don't do it. We don't pay attention. So you're having these experiences and they're getting stuck. Now the question becomes, why? Not every experience feels the same. If a rattlesnake is rattling in front of you 10 feet away, that's a safe distance, hopefully, it doesn't feel the same as a butterfly landing on your arm, does it? Is it supposed to? When I sit there and say all experiences are the same, does that mean that every wave is really the same? No, you're able to see them as waves. You're able to see them as experiences. You're able to see them as clouds. You're able to see them as people. Oh, there's people on the planet Earth. All different shapes and sizes. Depends on how far back you're willing to step instead of getting caught in the minutia. Yes, there is a snake. It feels different when it comes in than a butterfly. So what? Can you handle that? Like I said, once you handle it, then make a rational decision about what to do about it. And guess what? It is not a rational decision to say, I was by myself alone, and this beautiful monarch butterfly landed on my arm. Oh my God, I wish people were there to see it. I need to go back there and bring my friends. You couldn't let that go. You couldn't say thank you. Thank you for the experience. It was beautiful, but I'll have many more. They may not be monarch butterflies. They may be rattlesnakes. And they're teaching me things too. They're teaching me cautious, teaching me how to interact with a rattlesnake that's rattling, how to interact with a butterfly that was kind enough to land on your arm. Every experience you're having comes in and it teaches you something. And there's nothing wrong with that. I know it seems terrible to talk about this way, but it's the truth. Why? Because you're going to have experiences, and not every one of them is pleasant when it comes in. The question is not whether it's pleasant. The question is, can you handle it? If it comes in and I learn from it, have you ever had an experience that you thought was terrible and you found out that you really learned a lot from it, became stronger and a better person because you had that experience? So you wake up and you realize, I'm here and I'm conscious. And there are experiences happening out there. How many? 700 billion zillion at once. How many am I having? One. You're having one at a time. And which one do you have? I don't know. Whichever one shows up. I don't have... You want to have control over your experiences, don't you? I know you do. You want to sit there and say, let's cut to the chase here. I sit there and say, well, I had experience in the past that I liked. I want to have them again. So I'm not here now. I'm looking to make that happen. I'm out here. I forget random stuff. I ain't playing random. I don't want it to rain on my birthday. I'm going to look at the weather every day and think, oh my God, what if it rained? Oh my God. I'm going to be neurotic about the fact that it once rained on my birthday when I was 5 and I hate it. Okay? Or I want it to happen. I want it to happen. I don't want it to happen. That's what happens. The ones that you liked having, you want to have again. Instead of appreciating and saying thank you and being open and prepared for your next experience. You want to have it again. And so you do what? You hold on to it. You call clinging. Buddhists call it clinging. You hold on to that experience. Now what happens? You ruined it. Because now you're going to judge every other experience against that experience. You're comparing them, aren't you? And you lose. Because they're never going to be the same, are they? Why? Because they're different. The moments are different. You're different. The thought you were having at the time he gave you the first kiss was different than the last time. So you're ruining your life by having experiences? No. By not being willing to have experiences. By sitting there saying there are experiences I like and there are experiences I don't like, and I only want to have the ones I like. And how do you decide? I had them before. That's the only way you know. I had it before and I liked it. I want to have it again. So now I'm going to build a model inside my beautiful mind. You do have a beautiful mind. I'm going to build a model inside my beautiful mind that says, these are the experiences I want to have. I don't have a major problem with that. But really what it says 1,000 times louder is, these are the experiences I don't want to have. You have way more experiences you don't want to have than the ones you liked. Every single day of your life, there are things going on that you don't like. It's raining. He's not driving the way I want him to drive. Oh my God, I dropped something. Constantly. How often do you say, wow, that was great? All right? So you're in here and you're having experiences and you can't handle it. You can't handle it because I didn't like what it felt like. I know what you said and I know you told you love me. I said, I love you. Oh my God. I love you so much. My heart is melting. I can't even see straight. Oh my God. And you say, yeah, I love you too. No. I told you I love you. Not like that. So you're in here not liking experiences. And I want to answer the question, what do you do with the experience you don't like? It's a quiz. What do every one of you do with the experience you don't like? You hold on to them. You keep them. Don't you make a collection? Some people collect baseball cards or teacups or coins. You don't. You collect bad experiences. Don't you? And the worse the experience, the more you hold on to it and you keep it. This is the spiritual path. What? Not doing that. All right? You're doing that constantly. So what you're doing is you had past experiences that even when you were 3 years old that didn't feel good, and now you've kept them, and now you don't want that to happen again. You've had past experiences that did really feel good, right? And now you want them to happen again. And now you're out here trying to manipulate the moments unfolding. This is the bottom line. You're literally attempting to manipulate those moments unfolding in front of you so they be the way you want, and don't be the way you don't want, and that is your entire life, and you can say it's the purpose of your life. To have experiences that I like and not have experiences that I don't like, and I have to work at it hard, don't I? It doesn't just happen by itself, does it? You have to work all the time. That's why you're neurotic. That's why you're uptight. That's why you're not okay. By trying to be okay, by avoiding what you don't want and having what you do want, you will never be okay. There. The great way is not difficult for those who have no preferences. I will repeat that. That's the first line of the third Zen patriarch, one of the deepest writings ever written. And we just got there, didn't we? The great way, what does that mean? Enlightenment, liberation, enjoying every moment of your life, nirvana, ecstasy with all that's taking place. Then come down and deal with it. But I want you to start, from now on, every single thing you have to deal with, start with ecstasy. Start with, man, this is neat. Things are happening, man. It's a happening place. Had you noticed planet Earth's a happening place? Go to Mars. Go to Saturn. Go to Jupiter. Go anywhere. Go get the Hubble out there. We got James Webb Telescope. They ain't seen squat. Oh, look, there's a storm going on Jupiter. There's sand on Mars, and it's not the same. This one's slightly different than that. Okay, I hope you're enjoying yourself. You're coming down to planet Earth. There's stuff going on. All right, it's a happening place. But the net result is you can't handle it because you've decided what you want to be happening. How's that for a true statement? You have decided what you want to be happening and what you don't want to be happening. So now you get to suffer. If it goes the way you want, how do you feel? Great. If it doesn't go the way you want, how do you feel? Disappointed. If it goes the way you don't want, what do you feel? Uptight. Oh my God. If it doesn't go the way you don't want, you feel relieved. Your entire life, all your feelings, your emotions, your thoughts, everything are based on that. Are based on the fact that I decided how I want it to be based on my past experiences, by the way, which are meaningless. Notice how deep we got into the deepest Zen teachings. The great way is not difficult for those who have no preferences. Now, I'm not telling you how to not have preferences. We'll get there, all right? But at least understand, based on what we just talked about, that's the truth. If you don't have a way you need it to be, you're fine. You're more than fine. You're going to have a good old time. But if you have a way you need it to be, or have a way you definitely do not want that to be, you're not fine, right or wrong. If you get this once in your life, it's worth it to catch on. It is not about getting what you want. It's not about attracting to yourself what you want. It's about understanding I live in here, and I'm fine in here. And there's a world out there that's amazing. Where'd it come from? It's unbelievable. I've taught you over and over again. Your scientists, we get away from faith again. Your scientists have studied from Aristotle and Plato from the beginning of time. What's out there? How to get there? What is this? What are these things? And they keep looking with microscopes and this and that and things and big machines and colliders and all the way down. And you know what they found? There's nothing out there. Really. You go study quantum physics. There's no atoms. There's just this field, an omnipresent field. Let's get it once and for all, right? Most of you don't know a thing about quantum physics. What they have found, all of them, the Chinese, the Russians, all the scientists, is there's a field down there. They don't know what it's made of. You say energy, you say what you want. They just say it's called the quantum field. It's everywhere. It's omnipresent. Every galaxy is made out of it. Every single thing in the entire universe is that field vibrating, causing wavelets. If it wasn't vibrating, there wouldn't be anything here. There'd be no creation. But the fact that you dropped a leaf into a still lake and it caused a wavelet, right, those little vibrations, the entire universe is made out of those vibrations. And that's quantum physics. That's what they got down to. The wavelets interact with each other. They give them names. This one's a quark. An up quark, a down quark, a charm quark, a strange quark, really. And if you take 2 up quarks and a down quark, you get a proton. If you take 2 downs and an up, that means wavelets interact with each other. It creates a neutron. And that's where the whole thing comes from, those little wavelets. Okay, and what are you having problems with? Which wavelet do you not like? Do you see how I say, let's go past faith a little bit? Because this is solid stuff. You have all the science behind you to say what? Stop it. Stop doing what? Stop saying that I can't handle the experiences that I'm having. Like I said, we'll talk about how to do it, but at least understand that the great way is not difficult for those who have no preferences. Does that mean I don't do anything? No, it means you do what you're doing. You put your heart and soul and your whole being into the reality of the moment you're interacting with, and then deal with the next moment and the next one. And what will happen? Wait till you see. One that will happen is you will never have another problem again for the rest of your life. Why would you? All you're doing is experiencing the experience that you're experiencing. And you don't hold it, you don't own it, you don't like it or not like it. You experience it fully. Like I said to you, I would love that every experience you have for the rest of your life touch you at the depth of your being. But somebody died okay, let's start getting into it. But I was in love with somebody and we were married for 40 years, 50 years, and they died. Well, what do you mean I'm supposed to have a nice experience? What are you experiencing? Truth. When that takes place. I'm feeling sadness. I'm feeling loss. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with feeling sadness? What's wrong with the rattlesnake? What's wrong with the butterfly? What's wrong with saying, I can handle this. I appreciate the experience that I'm going through. Does it hurt? Yes. It won't keep hurting unless you own it. If you sit there and say, I'll never be okay again, ever, I promise you, I will make sure. What did you say to me? I will make sure you pay for that for the rest of your life. I will never be okay because you said that to me. You're going to pay. Whoa, man, wake up. So it's okay to have experiences. It's okay to have rattlesnakes. It's okay to feel pain. It's okay to feel lost. You better be. Otherwise, you're suppressing it. What do you do if something happens that you don't like and somebody dies or somebody says something or leaves you, whatever it is, and you can't handle that? You suppress it. No, I just don't deal with it. You do so. You take it and you say, I don't want to deal with this. And now you understand what's going on. You're in there. Who is you? The consciousness. A very great thing, your awareness of being. You're aware of what goes on, aren't you? That awareness is the beginning and end of the meaning of existence. If there was no consciousness, there's no reason for there to be a world. Nobody's experiencing it. The purpose and meaning of creation isn't creation, it's the experience of creation. And you have these experiences. Who's having the experiences? Oh, you don't want me to tell you because you don't want to hear. God. Oh no, he said it. You are the divine consciousness that is universal, has been in the beginning and will be in the end. That's what you are. Omnipresent, omniscient, omnipotent, just this field, not the quantum field. Great masters found out that consciousness generated the quantum field. It came from consciousness. Okay, that's the deep teaching. Okay, that's why it all is one. But the net result is that you are in there, you are conscious. Who's in there? God. When they say you are God descended, someday you are going to find out. Your consciousness is the divine consciousness staring at you. That's what you're doing in there, isn't it? Staring at your thoughts, your emotions, your opinions, your this and that. The only consciousness there is divine consciousness. But it's trapped in staring. It's distracted. That's what I like the word. It's distracted by your thoughts, your emotions, your opinions, your everything. And that's your ego. That's what ego is. Wow, having a nice talk today. That is literally, when you go deep enough in, that's what it means that you're realized. You've come to realize who you are, what is the nature of self. It's pure consciousness. But you can't do that because right now you're staring at the stuff you stored in there. You're staring at the stuff you stored in your mind, the stuff you stored in your heart. And therefore it keeps coming up, it keeps distracting you. Every moment, your emotions, your thoughts, they're haunting you, they're distracting you. So much so that you have to devote your life to trying to manipulate what's going to happen next or even what happened before. You can't even handle what happened before. It will never change, but you can't handle it. So you're in there struggling. Now you understand, when you cry, you understand suffering. You understand what Buddha meant with his noble truths. All of life is suffering. The cause of suffering is preference, desires. What is a desire? A preference. All life is suffering. Got it. The cause of suffering is preference. The fact that you can't handle reality, you're going to suffer. Well, why can't I handle reality? Because you decided not to. I don't know. You didn't want it to rain on your birthday. But so you're suffering. You didn't want your husband to be in a bad mood when he came home, when he lost his job. Now you don't know what to do. I know what to do. Handle it. Deal with it. Enjoy it. We'll go look for a job together. We'll do whatever we need to do. Who cares? I'm alive. I'm in here. I'm experiencing reality. Are you willing to experience reality? Well, I don't want to experience reality. I want to experience what I want reality to be. Have fun, because you won't. That is the second noble truth. Buddha was, a few words. All life is suffering. The cause of suffering is preference. To end suffering and preference. And we can talk about that because I don't want to scare you. But now you understand what's going on? That's what's going on. So you had these experiences. You couldn't handle them. And so you handle them with your hands, right? Who pushes it? What is suppression? I don't know if Freud defines it. He says you suppress. Who suppresses? There are forces in the universe. They move things. Every action is equal and opposite reaction, right? What is the force that suppresses? Because you have to. You do fight with it, don't you? When it comes back up, do you push it back down? Do you struggle with it? Does it take energy? You have a force in there pushing down what happened, what came in. That force is consciousness. That force is you in there. And that event is attracting your consciousness. And by doing that, you're pushing it away. You're denying it. You're resisting it. It's called resistance. Do you resist things in there? All the time. That's what's doing it, is your consciousness. So the spiritual path is very, very simple. Stop it. No, seriously. Stop what? Stop resisting. Okay, now a little time left. Let's talk about that. If you stop resisting what happens, you can handle it. Well, you didn't resist it. Ooh, the words, they come out so easy, all right? If you don't resist something, here, you're coming toward me. I don't want you coming toward me. The dogs are coming toward me. I don't want them coming toward me. Stay away, stay away. Throw rocks at them, sticks. I'm very busy now. Let the things go by. Let it rain when it rains. Say what you say. Wasn't very nice? Okay, fine. So what? So somebody said something that they were in a bad mood. How do I know what happened to you? By the way, we didn't talk about that. You have all these experiences. Nobody else has the same experiences as you. Nobody ever has or ever will. And you're wondering why they are the way they are. They're the way they are for the same reason you're the way you are. But I don't agree with them. Of course you don't agree with them. They had totally different experiences. No, I want them to agree with me. Go suffer. Go create hell. Have things be the way you want. Hear me? Go fight with everything to make it be, because you're right. You're not right. Nobody's right. Everybody's the sum of their learned experiences, except an enlightened being, the pictures on the wall. They're not the sum of their learned experiences. They learn to not do that. They learn to let go. When you let go, then there's this great being in there called you, who's not holding all this stuff together and suppressing and holding and fighting and doing all this stuff. You're just being. Then you come down and you deal with it. Let's get that straight. Of course you deal with things, but not from the point of view that you can't handle them. You deal with them from the point of view, I can handle this. My person I love very much died. I am feeling human emotions. Of course you are. You had a connection, energy. Okay, fine. Of course this has to go through adjustment. Are you willing to have that experience? Am I ecstatic and happy? No, you're just feeling the experience. If you will experience the experience, it will pass. I don't want it to pass. I don't ever want to forget them. It never happen. Okay, fine. Go on. What is that? I don't know. I know that you have an experience. You open to it. You let it touch you to the depth of your being, and it changes you. You grow, and then the changes take place. I don't know what's supposed to happen. There is no supposed to happen, is there? How are you supposed to be when someone you love dies? I don't know. But I know you're supposed to let it go. You're supposed to be willing to say, I can handle this, and I'm willing to go through it. And that goes for every single thing in your life. How do you know what you're supposed to do when somebody tailgates you and beeps because you're driving too slow. First thing I do, let go. This guy had a different life than me, I assure you. All right, he's road raging. I'm not scared. I'm not judgmental. It's just they're the sum of their learned experiences. This inside of me is the sum of my learned experiences. That's just how it is. But I'm not clinging to mine. I can handle it. So maybe instead of ramming my brakes, I just move lane over there and let him drive by. No, I'm not going to let him have his way. Why not? You make rational, centered decisions based upon clarity. That's spirituality, isn't it? So nobody says you don't interact, but you interact from a place of clarity of what actually is the highest thing that can help everybody and everything in this situation. How can I bring that down here? All right? And so basically, we now have a groundwork that says it is because you can't handle life that you can't handle life. If you had handled the situations and let them go, and okay, I know when you're young you can't handle it, so handle it now. So say, yeah, Mama was a schnook, she drank, there's a lot of major problems, right? But you have compassion, you understand, you're older than you used to be, and so on, and just open up. Have a relationship at one level or another, other than I can't handle you, I hate you, I can't handle you, I can't believe what you did to me, I'll never forgive you. Anybody listening? So that is the spiritual path, which is what? You see why you have a problem. You have a problem because you're holding on to problems. You've held on every single problem you ever had. And then you try to create a life that doesn't mirror the problems you have and create a life that gives you what you want. That whole thing about what you want and what you don't want, all it does is create suffering. So you're better off sitting there saying, okay, it's raining. Okay, it's cold. That doesn't mean I don't go inside. You're not stupid, all right? Nobody said, I'm going to suffer. I'm going to suffer in the name of God. Please don't do that because you're making God suffer. That's who's back there. I wish you would think like that. Understand that if your mind's going crazy, you're making God look at that neurotic mind. And he'll let you, okay, fine, do what you want, okay? As opposed to bringing beauty and love, right? And we're back to, how do you do that? Well, there's techniques. Yes, there's our techniques. The truth is, I taught you the technique. What? Stop it. Stop clinging to what you don't like and what you do like. How? By when you have something you like, don't deny it. It is never about renunciation. Now, if you're having a problem with drinking or with drugs or something, and you have to practice discipline to break it, yes, that's a conscious use of will to help straighten up the ship. That's fine. But spirituality is not about renunciation. It's not like I'm going to make myself suffer so I can go to God. God is ecstasy. God is Satchidananda. You should be experiencing beauty and love all the time. What does that mean? It means if something happens that you like, from now, at least this, do it for me. If something happens that you really like, say thank you and offer it up as a gift to God. Not want it to happen again, not cling to it. It may happen again. It's none of your business, right? You can't enjoy it if you're busy trying to make it happen again. Have you noticed? Oh, God, we had this beautiful moment. It was so special. And he never called. I can't believe he didn't call. Now what are you doing? Suffering? Why can't you just thank you to each moment as it unfolds? And what about moments that don't feel good? Thank you. Why? I need to learn. If I'm playing, all right, I'm playing tennis. I don't play tennis, all right? Playing tennis, perfect example. Playing tennis, pick up a racket. Guess where that ball is going? Into the net. What's wrong with that? That's how I learn. I'm playing the piano. I've never touched the keyboard in my life. You're not going to do well with it. Can you learn? Every single time you sit down there and practice, you learn. You may not become a concert pianist, but that's fine. But you enjoy the experience. You enjoy learning. You learn to let go. The same. You inside learn not to cling, not to hold on. You learn to appreciate and offer and let go. And of course you don't want to do it. Why? Because you're addicted to your stuff. You're addicted to the pain that you stored inside and try to avoid it. You're addicted to getting what you want. So you start practicing letting go. You practice handling life. How's that? Experiences come in. They feel good. Thank you. Thank you so much. And you let go. But how will I ever find a mate? I don't know. The deers have babies. We live out here. There's so many turkeys around here. My God, thousands of them. Everybody seems to get along, and things seem to happen. They don't have to sit there and figure it all out and talk about it. Things happen. It's a happening place. But what if I want doesn't happen? There you go. That's when you suffer. What if I appreciate that things are happening and we're hanging out together and it seems to be really nice? Will it last? Will you love me tomorrow? I know. I guarantee you something. If you reach the state that those guys and gals on the wall are, they will love you tomorrow. There's nothing left but beautiful energy emanating off of you. Not you're trying to attract. It just is your natural state. Everyone wants to be near you. So you think about your inner state becoming open enough to where God can be what's being seen. If that's what's in there, is God descended, where do he go? He's blocked. Hey, when it's all cloudy, you don't see the sun, do you? It's still there. That's cloudy, the stuff I talked to you about, all the junk you stored in there. You just spend your life letting go of yourself. That's what it boils down to. I'm guaranteeing you, if you do this and you practice this life of acceptance, openness, appreciation, respect, you will let go of the ego. You'll let go of the thing you built in there that has what it wants to be a certain way and not. Why? Why will it go away? Because you will start feeling ecstasy. And that's the right word. You would start feeling this joy. What does that mean? It means that right now, most of you don't realize it. Your energy flow is down. It's going down out into the world. That's where you put your energy, into your mind, into your emotions, into manipulating. Your energy is focused down. That is the fall from the garden. That's what's meant by the fall from the garden. Now you must work by the sweat of your brow to be okay. Why? You left your natural state of ecstasy to go down and suffer. Oh, congratulations. If you work with yourself and little by little accept the rain, accept the driver in front of you, accept what somebody said, and you keep letting go, all of a sudden at some point, I guarantee you, that energy flow changes direction. And you will see it and you will know it. And it's not all at once, but all of a sudden you start noticing that it's not going down. Your natural energy is feeding you up. The rush of holy waters, as the Christians call it, Shakti is what yogis call it. You start feeling this upward flow. You don't have to do anything. You just stop blocking it. It was always there. That's what you've come to see. You are the greatest being ever walked the face of the earth. You're a beautiful, beautiful being. You don't have to do anything to be beautiful. You have to stop doing stuff that makes you not beautiful. And the Shakti changes direction, and you wake up in the morning, you're filled with joy. There's just this wonderful energy feeding you. And because it's feeding you, you don't need to get it from outside as much. It's a gradual shift. If you're filled with love, let's say you're just completely filled with love. Everyone you see, you feel love. Who cares if they love you? You want them to love you so you can feel love. What if you feel love anyways? Wouldn't it be nice to always be okay? And then bring that down into the world? That is spirituality. Now you understand. And we did not talk once about faith. There was not a single thing that I asked you to hang on faith that we talked about today. Every one of you understand the logic of what I talked about, the reasonableness, and so on. Now, in the end, the great masters say, is a final leap of faith. What is? Letting go of your sense of individuality. At some point, it pulls back far enough to where you're not being asked to let go of the garbage. I'm going to cry. You're being asked to let go of your sense of separateness. Why? Because you're a drop of water that just fell into the ocean. Find it. There's no such thing. It merges. That is where the great ones went. That's what's meant, die to be reborn. That's what Meher Baba meant when he said, I was a drop of consciousness and it fell into the ocean of consciousness. And it will be there forever. That's enlightenment. You are a great being. That's who you are. But you are addicted to your lower self. All right, does everyone understand? And you see the path is perfectly reasonable. Just start little by little each day. Every time something bothers you, check it out. Is this worth being bothered about? You called out to Sally. She didn't say hello. Are you really going to make a melodrama of the thing? There's 8.3 billion people on the planet Earth. They didn't say hello either. That's how you learn to think. All right? So you're back to, I start with positive thinking. All of these, you want to do mantra, you want to do yoga, fine, do all your things. But in the end, let go of yourself. Stop pushing stuff away because you can't handle it or because you're clinging to it. And you're going to find out you're a very beautiful being. All right. Thank you for listening. Jagrative.
You've been listening to the Michael Singer Podcast, produced by Sounds True in partnership with Shakti Publications. For more information on Michael's body of work and all back episodes, please join us at michaelsingerpodcast.com. Thanks so much for listening. Sounds True, waking up the world.